Okay.
So, what's your name and what's your position?
So my name is Thayer Janes. I am the founding owner of a company called The Map Creative. Um, we basically do a lot of digital marketing, web design, content creation, and things like that. So that's what I do.
Okay, describe a typical day in at your job.
So a typical day, mine's a little different just because it's like my own thing. It's more of like a freelance collective. Basically, is like we have a bunch of people that are freelancers that are coming together to create all this stuff. So whether that's a website, whether that's content, whether that's copy for a website, whether that's marketing ideas, all that stuff. So I work from home. I'm at home right now, and which is really awesome. Most of the time, I don't have to go into work. At least so-called office. So I really like that. And I usually get up around 6 o'clock or 10 a.m., depending how I feel, maybe 12 p.m. if it depends. But I usually start my day off just drinking coffee and getting on my computer and hacking away. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Um, what's your favorite part about the Mapped Creative?
So my favorite part is the reason I'm doing this whole thing is I like to travel and I like to be flexible with my time. That's kind of like my perfect world, I guess you could say, is just being flexible with my time. So the fact that all this is flexible and I can work when I want. I can work in the evenings if I want. I can work in the mornings if I want. I can take the day off if I want. As long as I get everything done. That is by far my favorite thing about this job. Um, on the other side, it's my least favorite part of the job because when it is flexible, some days you just don't want to work. Some days you don't feel productive. Some days you don't have to get up, to get out of the house and do things like that. So that is the least favorite part of my job in terms of being a freelancer and running a company from basically your house. So
Okay. Um, okay, as traditional marketing continues to kind of go away, and obviously yours is on the digital spectrum,
yeah.
what have you found that's been working for your company or given you an edge, would you say?
So with my company and what we're doing right now is like we're realizing that a lot of companies, a lot of businesses and companies, even small businesses, medium-sized companies, and large companies are moving a lot of their budget that was used for like traditional marketing techniques like phone books and small businesses are putting their ads in these little things or whatever, and it's kind of diminishing. A lot of that is diminishing. So my model of this entire thing is to get those people from those like archaic marketing techniques and move them over to um, a digital space, basically. That's my whole goal behind this, whether it's web design, social media, digital marketing strategy, like that is my model. So, I mean, in terms of what works, you just have to be present on there. I think that any business, any company, whether you're small or large or anything, you just have to be present on there. You have to have some sort of strategy, whether that's a huge strategy and you create a lot of content and you do a lot of things, or you're just a little business and you update your Facebook every day or whatever. Like you have to be on there. So, in terms of what works, social media is huge. It's always going to be there. So many people are looking at social media, and it's not my favorite part of this job, but it's just such a huge marketing channel that like every company has to be on it. Like you have to be on it, and you have to have some sort of interaction and content and development on there to be someone, I guess. So.
Okay. Do you feel like your clients get a little bit hesitant making that shift?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we're doing right now is like talking to these people, and it's a lot of like, older people that have owned a business for 20 years, and they don't know about a lot of this stuff. They have all their marketing budgets put in these certain things, and it's like no one's even looking at that anymore. So they have this like idea of what marketing is, and we're trying to convince them that this is where marketing is supposed to be. And we don't take everything away that they did. I mean, there's certain channels that might work for certain businesses or whatever, and we'll usually just leave that there. But in regards to them being hesitant, yeah, they are for sure hesitant. I mean, some people more than others. I mean, some people are like, we see this everywhere, we read about it, we need to be in, on the internet and social media and things like that. So yeah, I mean, they are hesitant, but I mean, it's just kind of the way it is right now, So,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some people that refuse to even use it. They're like, we don't need that. That's like totally not our way, or whatever. And it's like, okay, so.
Okay. Where are you based out of? Denver?
I'm in Denver, yeah. But
Okay.
I'm traveling. I'm going to Central America in a month, for a couple months, and it's just the beauty of this whole thing is just you can do it from anywhere. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are your clients mostly from the U.S. or do you have any abroad clients?
Yep, and that's part of the reason why we're going down to. I'm actually going into Costa Rica. I have a contact down there, and he says that this is really interesting. Actually, it was a meeting I had yesterday. He's from Costa Rica. He used to work for Coca-Cola in the U.S., but he was saying how a lot of companies in Central America are basically 5 years, 3 to 5 years behind companies in the U.S. So it's kind of like if you think about the landscape of digital marketing 3 to 5 years ago, it's a lot different than it is now. A lot of Facebook and things like that didn't even really exist as a company. So he thinks that there's a huge market opportunity down in Central America for even just like smaller companies or companies that were started by Americans or started by other people that are in Costa Rica, and he thinks that a lot of these people will need services like what we're offering. So that's part of the reason why we're going to Central America this year. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Plus some hanging out and surfing too.
Having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
And what do you think is next in digital marketing?
I think in terms of what see different channels open up, I think there'll be different like social medias and things like that. Like I definitely think that those will always be changing. But in terms of what will be always there, I think search will always be there, and social media like Facebook and Twitter, I think, will always probably be there. I was actually, I'm trying to think of what I think about that. I don't know. I think that we'll see different. I mean, as channels change along the lines, there's different technologies getting developed every day and different things that are changing. But like in terms of I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. That's a really good question. It's just figuring that out is part of the whole thing. So.
Okay. And my last question for you is, what advice do you have for future graduates?
Future marketing graduates, or?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is what I would suggest for future marketing graduates. I've noticed a lot, like I was talking about it, it's a lot of companies are moving from these old marketing ways, these old techniques into like a digital space. And I think that if you know how to do that stuff, and you know how to be technological, and you know how to use a computer, and you know how to combine all that, and I'd also say have like sort of a design aspect to it. I mean, if you're even just a little bit creative, it's really important to like. For me, that was like my whole thing was I like being creative. I have like a creative mind, but I mix that with my my marketing degree from Montana, and it's kind of come together in two separate things to kind of combine like this like solid like thing. So I would suggest just learning how to do all the technical stuff on a computer and all the new marketing techniques like the digital space. Learn how to do that, become an expert on it, and I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff you can do from a computer. So if that interests you or interests anyone who's graduating, you know, that want to be flexible with their time and things like that, like I would just suggest that they learn as much as they can. And, you know, I know how to build websites, I know how to use WordPress, I know how to use all those different things. So I've kind of combined all that stuff together, and yeah, that's what I suggest.
Okay, awesome.